Welcome to the Sensory and Power Podcast. I'm Bethany, your host. I'm a holistic occupational therapist with over a decade of experience in supporting individuals helping to transform their world through sensory empowerment. This podcast is your guide to the transformative world of sensory storytelling, holistic tools, and empowerment strategies. I'm so excited to jump into something that I'm really passionate about, and that is interoception. And so, as we dive into today's podcast titled Inner Harmony, the Power of Meditation and Interoceptive Awareness, I am just so excited to review the power of meditation. It is the ability to pause, slow down the mind, connect with the present moment, and really tap into this sense of inner peace. Meditation and being mindful of the present moment is the number one tool to help us increase our interoceptive awareness. So, what exactly is interoceptive awareness, and how does it relate to meditation? Well, interoception is our eighth sensory sense. So this is our ability to sense and deeply understand the internal states of our bodies. And so this is the awareness of sensations like hunger, thirst, what our heartbeat is telling us, our, noticing and awareness of our breath moving in and out of our lungs, our bladder awareness, our ability to understand and tap into emotions and the emotional states related to body cues. So when we combine the powerful tool of meditation and this gentle pause of tapping into maybe listening and feeling our heart rate, or really thinking about any shifts that we might be feeling in our breath rate, we can deepen our connection to our own internal experiences, which can really profoundly support our nervous system. There's a lot of very powerful research about regular meditation practices, even if that is just a few minutes in the morning, maybe looking out the window, listening to the birds, maybe lighting a candle or turning on one of those, flameless LED candles, and just noticing what you notice, the shifts, the movement maybe of the flickering of the light, that sensation of a slowing down, a pause, a sensation where we get to tap into our body with a little bit more of a listening ear. So all of this powerful research about a regular meditation practice, it can really have a significant impact on our nervous system, our ability to move more into this parasympathetic, which is that rest and digest part of our sensory system and our nervous system. This really is a very powerful part of our ability to relax, reduce stress, and promote healing. There was a really cool study in psychiatric research that found that participants who engaged in an 8-week mindfulness meditation program experienced a significant reduction in the size of their amygdala. And so the amygdala is part of that emotional response. It's part of that brain that's responsible for that fight or flight response. And so how deeply powerful of research to actually have a reduction of the size of this fight-flight response. This amygdala part of the brain is one that can quickly get engaged, especially in those moments of sensory overwhelm, those sensory sensitivities where our body might be misinterpreting, things that might be a loud noise or a sudden movement. Our body can misinterpret those sensory cues as danger cues. So an activated amygdala is a common one in those who have experienced trauma, those who have experienced many moments of feeling overloaded, having sensory overwhelm. Those are all those kind of amygdala responses. And, just as this lovely, gentle reminder of self-compassion, that our body creates these opportunities for self-preservation and self-protection. So these are always, you know, observations that we can have. I really invite a curiosity about the nervous system versus a judgment of the nervous system, bringing in curiosity of, why is this noise triggering such a response? And maybe considering how the power of meditation or EFT tapping or breath work, all of these tools that I love to teach and love to support my clients with, can help to retrain the brain and have and really cultivate a power of deep mindful meditation and a deep sense of ease in recognition that our system is here for a protection. And maybe we don't need to have as intense of a response of covering the ears, and it starts to really allow a little bit of grace in our system, starting to really deeply reflect. I think is a beautiful word here, a really beautiful opportunity to reflect on growth as we use some of these holistic tools. So, as we think about the amygdala and the power of interoceptive awareness having such a beautiful impact on reducing those fight-flight responses, we can start to maybe move a little bit more into the idea of interoceptive awareness to help us tune into these subtle signals of our body. And I always love to play like heart rate games and just engage with even some like biofeedback style. We practice, jumping and running and then doing some breathing and breath work to notice just what the heart rate shift would be for some of these activities, just to help with that awareness and bringing that kind of attuned awareness to the changes in our heart rate. And so interoceptive awareness is very, very powerful. It can be very empowering, I feel. By understanding our internal states, we can really respond more effectively to our needs. And so if that is like a cue from our body that we need to go rest, we're starting to feel fatigued, maybe we're realizing that we need to hydrate. There might be moments where we have awareness of chest breathing, which can be that signal to our nervous system of stress response, right? I always think of kind of a dog panting, that kind of panting, shallow chest breath can be very overwhelming for our system to maintain. And if we are gathering data or if we're, receiving some internal cues, these subtle cues that our body is able to send us by pausing and listening to it, we can really respond a little bit more effectively. We get to become a little bit more attuned to the needs of our body. And then we get to regulate at much more ease, which is just the ultimate success, right? Is being able to tap into some of these tools when you notice that internal shift of maybe breath rate starting to increase rapidly. And these are examples maybe when you're at a moment of, you're not running, your heart rate is starting to increase, your breath rate is starting to increase when you are in a state of pause, meaning your body maybe is seated or laying down or standing, but you're not necessarily having a lot of physical exertion, but you feel your heart beat really beating out of your chest. Things are at a faster pace in general. So these can be these internal cues that we can tap into through the power of mindful meditation. And so having these moments of pause can really start to shift and help support even better emotional regulation. We can really enhance our overall well-being and resiliency to stress. So how can we integrate meditation and this very powerful after effect of increased interoceptive awareness into our daily lives? What are some things that we can do to help make it a little bit more practical? And one of the things that I really love, I kind of alluded to at the beginning, is using visuals. So you can do meditation eyes open or eyes closed, Sometimes I find, I took a mindfulness-based stress reduction course, which was a very beautiful 8-week program in Arizona when I lived there. And I vividly remember the opportunities to have a candle meditation and then a smiling meditation. And so the candle meditation was we were all looking at a candle and watching it flicker and watching it move. We sat there for about 5 minutes and just noticed our breath and just kind of tapping into the power of vision in those moments of being able to have a calm, relaxed, focused attention to something visually stimulating. So I have a candle in front of me right now and kind of watching the flame flicker and maybe watching the wax drip down the side of the candle. It's a very calming experience that I've always found with candles. So that's an idea. Another example that I gave was how we can use the power of the visuals we see in nature. So maybe it is the rustling of the leaves on a tree with the wind blowing through. Maybe you have some flowers outside and you get to watch a bee land on a flower, something like that, where there's this beautiful visual that is bringing our attention to this present moment. This very beautiful prompt of we're here, we're now, we're present. I'm not judging the experience, but I'm rather sitting in this state of presence and ease. Another example of exploring kind of, how can we fit these into our daily lives? How can we fit these in busy lives that we have? Another really powerful tool that I love, especially when I'm just waking up, is to perform a body scan meditation. And so this is a beautiful practice where we are either lying down or sitting comfortably. We're bringing your awareness to the different parts of your body. I frequently start at my toes and then move up, ankles to knees to hips, stomach, down arms, chest, and then to the top of your head. And as you focus on each area, you're noticing any sensations, any moments of tension, or if you have any discomfort, just noticing without judgment. This practice is very powerful and helps to really cultivate a deep sense of interoceptive awareness and relaxation. I always feel very connected to my body when I do these body scan meditations. And so this might be something that you could add in the morning, right as you're waking up, just connecting into the alert state because you're awake, but also still kind of grounded in a sense of calm, just right as you're waking. So that's just maybe a few moments. Another example of how we can kind of cultivate these mindful moments is a powerful technique using mindful breathing. So this is a really lovely one to just deeply focus in on your breath and noticing if you are chest breathing or belly breathing. And you can even put your hand on your belly. Maybe you're laying down still, in bed or sitting up in your chair, maybe having a first sip of coffee or tea in the morning. And just noticing that beautiful sensation of your breath awareness. Another opportunity is to, if you do have a warm drink, is smelling the drink and then blowing out through your mouth and watching kind of the steam maybe move across the top of your drink. That's a fun one I really enjoy, especially if it's like a little bit cold outside. I might take my cup of coffee outside and just kind of sit on the porch and take a big breath in through the nose and then breathing out through my mouth and just noticing that beautiful sense of calm. I really deeply enjoy those combining of either nature or something visual. And so I've kind of talked about that a little bit of how we can do this mindful meditation with our eyes open. And, of course, there are always many moments to practice mindfulness where we have our eyes closed and we're very tuned into. But I feel like I really have started to reflect upon how we can use this present moment awareness with eyes open, right? We can move through without judgment. We're just being present in this beautiful moment and not having any negativity or positivity. We're just focusing on neutrality. And it is what it is. It's in this present moment. And I think that that can really bring a lot of ease by activating this power of mindfulness throughout the day. It, I think, allows for more opportunities. And I really believe in the power of having things a little bit easier. I think the easier we can build in these routines, the more habits can be formed, the more habits that in these positive states of bringing in opportunities, the more consistency we'll have. And the more consistency we have, the easier it is to feel this powerful change. So these are beautiful opportunities to just kind of incorporate meditation breaks throughout your day. Even just 5 minutes of mindful breathing or doing a body scan during a busy day can really help make a huge impact on stress levels and improve this overall sense of well-being. Some other opportunities to think about is the power of mindful movement practices. So this could be something like yoga or, more of a like Tai Chi, if that's something that is, of intrigue for you. These can be combining physical movement at a slower pace, which really helps as well to tap into our interoceptive awareness. It helps us very deeply connect to our bodies and cultivate this beautiful awareness of balance, I feel, because we're getting to practice movement that sometimes allows for practice of balance as we, focus on even an internal balance as we do those. So something like yoga or Tai Chi can be very powerful. There's YouTube videos, or maybe your local gym might have some practice opportunities. If you're wanting a little bit more of like a structured class, it might be something to consider as you move forward with curiosities. So as we explore these kind of practices and opportunities, I really invite deep acceptance of just trying and just going for it and not worrying if you're doing it right, if you're doing it wrong. It's perfectly okay to start very small with just maybe a couple moments. Even the idea of just lighting a candle and that 1 minute of focusing and maybe taking a few deep breaths out and blowing and just noticing the flicker of the flame moving around. Those can be some really fun opportunities to just practice this mindful moment and just noticing the shift that you feel maybe in your heartbeat. So another kind of hand position that you can try is placing your left hand over your heart on your left side and then your right hand over your belly and just noticing breath rate and heart rate. This can be a very powerful, kind of deeply connected hand placement for your body. That's one to consider about how you can kind of take a moment to connect using your hands. I feel like very grounding sensation for our bodies to be able to have these moments to reflect upon. And so as we really, really think about all of the power of having these mindful moment practices built in to routine, building in these habits, it really is just so lovely to be able to talk through how we're able to really support our nervous system. I feel like by integrating this meditation, these mindful moments, it's really supporting this interoceptive awareness into our daily routines and allowing us to gather data in a way. Our ability to kind of pause, reflect, and have these moments of awareness really, really nurture a deep connection to ourselves and to our own well-being and being able to feel connected. I feel it's very deeply powerful for cultivating this inner harmony and really being able to have ourself and our body become a sanctuary space to connect to. Oh, I'm so grateful that I'm getting to take these big, deep belly breaths, and how grounded I feel by doing a body scan, by squeezing my toes and noticing that I'm here in this present moment and I'm grounded. So I just want to thank you for joining me as we explored this very powerful topic of mindful meditation and how it can support interoceptive awareness. I hope you feel inspired to maybe explore a few of these practices and discover this powerful shift and balance that it can bring to your life. Thank you for joining me on this sensory adventure through Sensory Empower, the podcast. Remember, empowerment begins with awakening your senses. Subscribe now and embark on a journey of self-discovery and transformation. Until next time, may your senses guide you towards a life filled with peace, joy, and empowerment. Because true empowerment begins with embracing your senses. On this sensory adventure through Sensory Empower, the podcast. Remember, empowerment begins with awakening your senses. Subscribe now and embark on a journey of self-discovery and transformation. Until next time, may your senses guide you towards a life filled with peace, joy, and empowerment. Because true empowerment begins with embracing your senses.